Hello right bags, it's Jade, welcome to a Conan Exiles update video. You'll have had an update on Xbox and PlayStation today. It shouldn't be too big and it does offer a parity patch to keep up with PC. So we had the big update in December, they had a little hotfix and then they had a bunch of changes to do with momentum and stuff that a lot of people, a lot of players gave feedback and just said it just wasn't right. So they haven't dialed it all back, but there is certainly some adjustments being made and that is all just hit Xbox and PlayStation today. I'm also going to be today talking about roadmaps and about what the developers think about roadmaps and what I have made mistakes in the past as well, and also my wish list of Conan Exiles in 2020. So don't forget to like the video, help the channel out, and if you want to come join my PS4 Conan Exiles server, join Discord, find the Conan Exiles server chat and you'll simply see the password in the pinned section. If you don't know how to use Discord, make sure you read all the rules and the welcome message when you join. So you can see from the post it says it's going to put it on parity with the PC version and some critical issues that happened as well as the exploits. Fix the number of platform specific crashing instances. This is on the PlayStation 4. Fix the issue where it was possible to dismantle the stables for the wrong amount of resources. Fix an undermesh exploit. Fix an issue where it was possible to move another player. Fix some situations which it would be possible to refill arrow stacks with different stat values. Fixed an issue where arm penetration on bows and arrows would stack incorrectly. Fixed an issue where the actually faulty perk worked for NPCs but not for players. Fixed an issue where pet levels could reset after dedicated server restart. And decreased thrall damage output. They've also thralls and pets on some instances losing their progress on a server restart. This should be now fixed. Increase the demon fire barrage damage for buildings by about 40%. That's a massive increase. Decrease stone requirements for siege bold recipe from 250 to 150 stone. Fix an issue where health regeneration was given too much health points per tick. Fixed issue where logging in other mounted nearby players could have a desynced relative location to their mounts. Character customization options would reset temporarily to default while mounted. Players' breath bar would drain when on a mount in water, certain thralls to be locked to a certain growth rate, and sprinting mode not toggling off automatically when the mount stops. Remove spawn points for foals from near the starting river. Foals still exist in other places on the map. No! Why? Why Funcom? It was so fun getting a horse pretty relatively early on. Tweaked player movement acceleration based on community feedback. Fixed an issue where using swords while mounted could stutter animations. Issue where walking backwards while mounted would affect the weapon attack animation and the mount walking direction. Fixed an issue with the stretched paper doll models in inventory and stats menu. Hallelujah! I've been just literally not seeing my character's face or feet for ages. So yeah, there you go. Big bug fixing, not a big content update. There's not loads of stuff happening. As expected, this is kind of the routine. We get big content, we get maybe a little hot fix, and then we get a post parity bug fix that really updates the game alongside what PC have got and maybe just taking a look at some of the changes and tweaks. The official account is pretty responsive at actually responding to people, particularly on Twitter, but also on the forums as well. There's a lot of work going into it. This is why I rate Conan Exiles in the last year. From my experience covering so many different survival games, they are head and miles above some of the others in the way they talk to their players. So maybe in the future they will be balancing out explosives to maybe do a little bit more damage. People asking about cross-platform, what do you think? And they said they can't consider it at the moment, it's just not technically feasible at this time. Now there is some texture loading issues on the PlayStation 4, apparently they're still looking into that. So good shizzle. Joe Bylos created Conan Exiles pretty much. He's the main creative force behind it coming into fruition, and obviously he's been working on this for a long time. He's currently doing a lot more work on Dune, and they've cancelled their single player version of Conan Exiles, which he was also doing work for. So he's a bit everywhere, and he did return in a live stream recently. So I tweeted the devs and pretty much Joel about my plans or what I think is happening for Conan Exiles 2020. And I did start off my video actually showing Joel when he did a presentation in 2017. Now in this presentation there's a bunch of stuff that either hasn't been implemented into the main game just yet or has only just come recently, like the mounts. So it really shows the troubles in releasing or announcing content if you really can't guarantee it's going to happen, and obviously it's taken a while for some of this content. And so Joel has pretty much said in a bunch of tweets that it's a mistake to go ahead too much. Meh, last time I showed a roadmap it got me in endless trouble. I prefer just to keep delivering great stuff. That's in response to someone actually saying GG and it's about time we see a roadmap. Now the conversation goes on with this person replying that it's good to show people, etc. And Joel says it still creates expectations in the community. We spent forever making mounts work because of a promise given a long time ago. I don't like giving out long-term plans. Much prefer to discuss things in a 3 to 6 month window and no further. Reasonable people understand that such things are aspirational. Unreasonable people call in promises and write comments on every video, tweet, article asking have they delivered X yet. One of my learnings of the past few years is just not to talk about that stuff too early. So I'm bringing this up because I have been guilty of that a little bit in the past, and it is something that just YouTubers, because we're maybe obviously looking for content delivered to you guys, we are always thinking about what the development team have said in the past and what they're going to bring. Now early access is early access. Stuff that happens, you can expect that there's going to be big changes and it just might not go the way it's going to go. They're going to have to cut back on certain stuff. They may bring in brand new features they never even announced because it would end up being better for the game. So yeah, this is from a good while ago, but I think it definitely represents what happens when you can overpromise and underpromise. At the time when this came out, when they spoke about how they were not going to be given as much content for the full release because they wanted to concentrate on bug fixes, I did have a bit of a negative opinion on Conan Exiles. I felt like it wasn't reaching for the stars and it kind of was just happy being a sort of mediocre version of Ark. You know, that's what I had at the time, the views. Over the period of that time though, it improved. They added much more unique systems and eventually they did start adding a lot more of the content that they spoke about in early access and much more than they ever spoke about in early access. So I feel like Conan Exiles came good, and they did come good a while ago. It hasn't just happened in the last few months. It's been over the last 18 months, I would say, that Conan Exiles has really turned it around, and instead of just being a meh good medium-sized survival game, it's now one of the best. Fact, it is. If you play on Xbox, PlayStation, there aren't that many big survival games, and Conan Exiles does a pretty stand-up job, in my opinion. It's got lots of good features in it. Does say I'm not always in love with it. I still think there's a bunch of room and improvements they could make. I've got a wish list as long as my arm. But I did want to talk about the expectation from what players want and what the devs can promise and why it's so important not to get overhyped. And I think I've probably been a bit guilty of that in the last few weeks, talking about the update for the map and the biomes and stuff. I'm still confident we're going to get that. I'm still confident we're going to get some extension, or we're going to get some new expanded dungeon area to go and explore. But who knows, we could be in for a real treat, and it'd be nice to see if Funcom are really going to reach for the stars this time, rather than maybe just going for the safe option. And that's what Funcom are pretty good at. They're pretty good at doing the safe thing. It's a safe bet to release just DLC that caters to the players that are already playing your game, rather than trying brand new big features or big DLCs that might draw in lots of new people. So I'm kind of hoping that 2020 is the chance, or the year, that they're going to maybe take a bit more chances. That's what I want to see with Conan Exiles. I doubt it, but that's what I kind of want to get across. Now, I don't want to overhype stuff, hence why I've shown them tweets from Joel, which quite rightly point out that reasons we can't have a big roadmap is because they don't want to let anyone down. They just want to do things in controlled bursts. But right now, we have absolutely no clue what's going on, other than some stuff I reported on from their live streams over the last few months that they hopefully are going to be working on. But there is still nothing concrete. There is still no forward plans, other than we just know there's a big update happening in Q1, which is between now and the next few months. So yeah, interesting. Just let me know what you think. Do you want a roadmap? Do you want some key features being revealed? Or are you quite happy just to have it a bit of a surprise? I mean, I say it like that, everyone's going to say, yeah, I want a heads up. I want to know what's going on. And next up, I guess, is my wish list. Like, what would I have in Conan Exiles if I could? Well, I've already mentioned it in my other video, but I would definitely open up some servers. I would cluster them. I would say that maybe you could transfer with up to 5 other servers with that one character. Maybe you could do it as lives, that if you rank up to level 60 and you can do it 5 times before you have to either take off your bracelet or you just stay on that server permanently. I think that would open up the world of Conan massively. People are always complaining that servers are filled with people that have just got no chance of going up against because they've been on the server so long and they come and just wipe out the beach bobs. Trust me, them people would go to other servers because they also want a challenge. They're so bored, that's why they go and harass beach bobs in PvP. So give them a chance to actually go and find another server, maybe have more of a challenge once more, but keep their character and their levels, just not any items, and I think that people would go for that massively. Does it work with the lore and everything else that got going on in Conan Exiles? No, not one single bit, but I'm sure they could find a way to put it in there. 2, it is the siege stuff. I would really dearly love to see some siege elephants. I would love to see more to do with things like trebuchets, but different varieties. The purge system has to be improved, and I think it has to be more widely, I don't know, a newer mechanic. I think from the trailers and back in the day, they spoke about the fact that the storm would bring the purge, and that every time there was a storm, that meant the purge was happening. Something to tie it into that would be interesting. Or just have the storm actually have a smaller purge that would just affect certain directions across the map, and it would pretty much have a selection of enemies, maybe wild creatures or the creatures that we see from the trailer. Yes, I want more mounts in the game, I want different varieties, and I want the followers and thralls and the pets to have more perks specific to them, so it really makes them more outstanding. So there you go, just a small little wish list. Give me your wish list down below. Tell me what you want to see go into Conan Exiles for 2020. What features? And don't just give me, oh, just do a bit of bug fixing, or, you know, got to improve this one feature so I don't keep getting wiped. Give me some big ideas to think and talk about. Who knows? You never know when a developer's watching, and they may take it on board. So there we go, patch notes, a little bit of talk about not overhyping too much, but also not under-delivering too much, and my wish list. I'll be back with more Conan Exiles news very soon. Don't forget to check out all my other content, and I'll see you ratbags later.